Hey guys, Larry D here. I just wanted to do a quick review of my two kayaks that I have. I've got a Wilderness Ride 115 and I've got a Native Ultimate FX that I recently got. My first kayak was the Ride 115. I'm probably going to talk pretty fast on this because I got a lot of information to cover and just trying to go quick here and not have a 25-minute video. So anyway, my first yak was this Ride 115 in camo blue. Not sure of the official color. I absolutely love this boat. I got the Warner paddle with it, which I really like. I just this week found a smoking deal on this, what is it called? An Air Pro Max seat for this kayak. I had the standard one that was really low. It's nice when it's low because it's nice and stable, but I really wanted something that I could adjust a little bit. And in my opinion, as far as kayaks, your number one thing on your kayak that you need to have, besides a good kayak that floats good and tracks good, all that's very important. But if your seat's not comfortable, you're not going to want to spend much time out on the water. So spend the money, get a nice seat or a kayak that comes with one. They're coming out with some really nice seats on the lesser expensive kayaks these days, and if you can get a sling seat like this, it's a lot more comfortable than just sitting on a pad, because you've got some suspension. It's just a lot more comfortable. And like this Air Pro, I don't know if I can do this right here on camera. Yeah, there it goes. That's low and that's high, which is awesome. When it's lower, it's more stable. When it's up high, it's a little bit nicer for fishing. So I've done a few things to this since I had it. This is a 2015 Wilderness Ride 115. A few things I'll mention here. I installed these rod holders in the back, drilled the hole, put the rod holders in. When you get these rod holders, make sure you get the kind that have a solid bottom. Otherwise, if you get water in there, it's going to fill up the inside of your kayak. So the whole idea of these is you don't get water on the inside and they'll always float. So make sure that the rod holders have a solid bottom on them so water can't get into the bottom of your hull where you're trying to keep your dry stuff at. So I installed the rod holders on here. I've got a rod in here for demonstration. Only thing about this for my style of fishing is I fish rivers a lot and I go under trees, and I have snapped a couple rods off because you forget they're back here. So that's the only downside to this. You can get rod holders that are 45 degrees. I think they're 45, something like that, where the rod tilts back like that. Those are a nice idea too, but then when you're cruising under a tree, the rod catches on a branch and it will be real good to pull your rod out of the rod holder, and then next thing you know, you're fishing a little while later, go to grab that rod, your other rod switch up, and it's not there. It's hanging in a tree somewhere. So just some thoughts about that. You got to do whatever you prefer. So I installed the rod holders. I got this Scotty rod holder here I use sometimes. I'm not wild about where the tracks are on this because when you paddle, it tends to get in the way. Of course, you can slide this up or down. It's just a matter of preference. Got the hatch right here. I know there's a million videos on YouTube about Ride 115, so I'm not going to go into all the features on the boat. One thing I'll say, because of my new kayak that I bought, that I can say on this, I don't have many negatives, but the one thing that for me is kind of a little pet peeve is I like that they give you a cup holder. I like that it has a way to drain the water. I don't like that it's a mile away from my seat. If I go to grab my bottled water or whatever I have up there, it's a pretty good stretch to get up there, especially when you're on the water. The more you go forward, the boat starts to dive into the water, and it's not as stable. So I basically have to get on my knees to get up to get my water. So half the time I throw them under my seat. Haven't been on the water yet with this seat. I'm really anxious to do that tomorrow. You got the big hatch up here, and as for one of my other videos that's going to be coming out, you'll see my first aid kit. I got a rude awakening and realized that you need to have a first aid kit on all your kayaks. Just switch them back and forth, or they're inexpensive enough. You can just put it in there and leave it in there. So that's going to be it for the ride. Just wanted to give you guys a quick overview. I did want to mention a few resources and videos that I watch. Hook One, you guys are awesome. Chad over at Hook One, that dude knows his stuff. Awesome bass fisherman, awesome wilderness guy. I mean, big time. He did a video on how to install this anchor trolley on the ride, I think on all the wilderness boats, without having to drill holes in the kayak. I'm not a big fan of drilling holes in a boat if you don't have to. So Chad has a whole video from Hook One on how to install this anchor trolley, and even shows you how to make this nice little knot up here so that you can adjust the tension on it. Really sweet setup, and the first time I saw that video, I'm like, I am doing that next opportunity. That's it on the ride.